Paul Dotrieve is here with us to talk about Boy Scouts. So other than it, one being Girl Scouts and the other being Boy Scouts, I'm sure there's some differences we can discuss. Before we get into that, tell us what you do for the Boy Scouts of America and where you're based.
Right. Okay, I'm Paul Dotrieve. I'm with Boy Scouts of America, and I'm the district associate for Southeast Louisiana Council. I cover all of East St. Tammany, and I have a counterpart that covers West St. Tammany. I manage units. I do membership. I raise money. I handle our popcorn business. Yeah, so I do it all with them.
Assume I don't know anything about Boy Scouts. How could you easily describe what the Boy Scouts do?
All right, so yeah, we start with Cub Scouts at the younger age, and it's more of a family program. We teach young boys how to be a leader in their family, in their school, in their church, in their community. And then as we move up through the ranks with Boy Scouts, they get more, it's a lot more leadership oriented, where we kind of put them more on their own a little bit, and we put them in situations and kind of sink or swim kind of thing. And then also we have another program called Venture Crew, which is boys and girls. So it's a co-ed program that we have, and it's 14 to 20. And that's when you get more in high adventure stuff, you're able to go and do things like rock climbing and scuba diving and various like high adventure stuff like that. So
it's part fun, part learning to be a leader.
Absolutely.
You can do both at once.
Definitely.
And you can't do that. You can't say that about every organization where you can have fun and learn the leadership skills. At what point? This may be difficult to answer, but at what point do you think you see almost like a boy growing into a man as a scout? Can you see it?
Yeah, I mean, if you follow them from, say, Cub Scouts all the way to them making their eagle as a Boy Scout, you could definitely see a difference. I mean, we have data. You could put this into Google. We have actual real research that we've done as an organization to show that it promotes leadership. It promotes a better sense of community. We have a higher graduation rate than every high school. I mean, we were at 98%. Definitely for the high schools in this area, we have a really high graduation rate. So yeah, you definitely 100% see a difference.
Well, I guess we'll get into some of the things that might attract people, and let's start with Cub Scouts.
Right.
I've got a first grader, and we're interested. What would my Cub Scout perhaps experience in the first year or two? And by that I mean, what are some of the events and some of the things that he might go to in those first year or two that he would enjoy, that he may not could do on his own?
Right, so other than the kind of learn by doing Cub Scout activities that we'll have, different art projects, different little things that we'll do, we have one real good catch is the Pinewood Derby race. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I do, yeah.
Right,
I think I finished second in my Pinewood Derby as a Cub Scout.
Really, yeah.
No, my biggest accomplishment.
Right. So mine wasn't fast, but I won the show and shine when I was a Cub Scout. So it looked good, but it wasn't fast at all.
So you make your own car,
right?
You paint your own car.
Right. So you get this little block, and you and your it's supposed to be kind of a family activity. So you don't want kids using power tools and stuff. So the parent or guardian and the scout, they'll get together and they'll make their own race car. They'll design it however they want, and they all have to be like a specific weight. They'll weigh them just so they're all like on a level playing field, so you could race them. And the kids love that for sure. That's definitely a selling point. I mean, when I'm doing a recruiting talk and I tell them, how would you like to build your own race car and race against other kids, and they go nuts over that.
Right.
So yeah, and then we also have the Rain Gutter Regatta. They make these little boats with a sail on it, and they could race them like that. So that's always a lot of fun for them.
And there are some camping experiences.
Absolutely. The camping gets a lot more advanced when you get to Boy Scouts, but for Cub Scouts, that's also a family experience, because you have to have a parent go with a Cub Scout. So they'll have family camp out weekends at the different Boy Scout camps we have in the area. We have Five Lakes Campground in Bush. We have Camp V-Bar right outside of Picayune that Southeast Louisiana Council actually owns. So we'll do Cub Scout weekends where they go and camp with their family and things like that. But we also, in the summer, we have a Cub Scout day camp where the parents drop them off during the day, and that's where they get to do the stuff that they've always been.
Is that also in Bush?
Right. We have one in Bush, and we have one at Camp Villery in Slidell. Okay. So for East St. Tammany and West St. Tammany respectively. So they'll do that. That's where they get to do the shoot bow and arrows and BB guns and fish and swim and do all the stuff that they were promised to be able to do when I recruited them to be in Cub Scouts. So that's where they finally see it come full circle. They get to do a lot of really fun stuff that they wouldn't normally do, say at a weekly Cub Scout meeting or something like that.
Got it. So when they advance to Boy Scouts, and not only camping, but when do the activities change? When do you start getting into more of the skill building, leadership, direct leadership, and again maybe some of the highlights
Right.
for a Boy Scout or an Eagle Scout at a certain age?
Right. So we have this joke that we do. We have this. It's called the Guide to Safe Scouting. It's a book where it kind of guides like at what ages people could do what. And so we joke about, as you move through Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and venturing, the Guide to Safe Scouting gets a little bit smaller. So you get to do a little bit more. You can go with significantly less adult leadership with the Boy Scouts than you could with the Cub Scouts. You don't have to have your parent with you. So that's where you get to see, you just have the Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster, and maybe a couple other adults, and then you have 15 boys that are out on a camp out, and so you're kind of in charge. You delegate responsibilities. So we had the way that we're structured. You have your senior patrol leader, and then you have patrol leaders divided up into patrols, and they delegate tasks and different things. So you get to see, hey, if this guy doesn't wash the dishes, then we're not going to have dinner later, kind of thing. So you assign people different tasks, and that's when you really start to learn by doing. You really starts to click,
Yeah.
with the leadership and it getting a little bit more advanced. And then you get to go, as you advance and get a little bit older, you get to go to, I guess high adventure, stuff like that. We have the Sea Base in Florida where you get to go scuba diving, Camp Rainy Mountain, kind of like really intense hiking. And then we have our famous Philmont Scout Ranch, where they get to do some like overnight hikes, or hike up and down mountains and
Yeah.
camp overnight and stuff like that.
The same premise, but I'd enjoy your take, because we were discussing this with the Girl Scouts. It's so different from what most kids are used to with
Right.
being on the phone.
Right.
And doing whatever. I'm getting old now, so I don't know
Right.
what kids do. But
No, I understand.
so that you can't underestimate the importance of the real life experience. You'll never be able to replace anything on social media with that. That's huge.
Right. No, for sure. And as an organization, we're adapting. We're adding a little bit more technology-based merit badges. We have various pilot programs across the United States for like STEM Scouts, all these different things where we're trying to, change with the times. We're trying to change with, the times with advancing technology. We have a video game programming merit badge, which that's really far out, even for me as a younger person. But yeah, we're definitely and I don't think you'll ever, and this is just strictly my opinion, I don't think you'll ever be able to replace the learn by doing, the going out there and learning, learning how to, understanding the outdoors and learning how to be out there and live with it, and even starting a fire, the science of that. I mean, we have heaters now in our houses, but we still need to be able to understand that aspect of nature and things like that.
Yeah. Is it ever too late to become a scout?
Well, I mean, I'm a 24-year-old employee of Boy Scouts of America, and I consider myself a scout. But I mean, really, scouts are, that term I feel like is reserved for the younger people, the people that are actually scouts. But you can still be a part of the organization on a volunteer level, on an employee basis, like myself, and you could still really get you're never going to get the full scouting experience, the learning by doing, but I've even learned stuff just by going to these meetings and watching these kids, and so they've taught me things that I never thought that I would learn. So no, and I guess to bring it full circle, no.
So you're saying I could become a scout?
Right.
I was a Cub Scout one year. That didn't count.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could be a scouting volunteer and still get the experience of Boy Scouts of America, the hiking and camping and fishing and swimming and BB guns and bows and arrows. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to do that. We actually have a really big shortage in adult leadership, and that's what drives our program. Yeah. I mean, there's more of them than there is me. I mean, although I'm a paid professional of Boy Scouts of America, what drives our programs is the adult volunteers. I mean, I kind of joke with my lead volunteer all the time that he's my unofficial boss. I answer to my boss, but He's been in the program a lot longer than I have, so 9 times out of 10 he's going to know he knows what's going to happen before I do, and he knows how to kind of guide me and direct me in that way.
Good stuff. Well, real quickly, how someone wants to become a scout, who do they call? You? Do they go?
Yeah, I mean, they could get more information at bsa-sela.org, or just go to Google and type in Boy Scouts of America Southeast Louisiana Council. Our office is out of Metairie. They could just click on staff and find me. I'm Paul Dautrieve. Our East St. Tammany area is called Cypress District, and for Estruma, if you're in the Mandeville-Covington area, you could go to their website. You just type in Estruma Area Council. And Dorothy Garcia is their district executive, and their Bogatachena district, I believe. And yeah, so they could find it all online, or they could contact me or her directly via the website.
Good stuff. Last thing I'll say, and I'll say it for you, don't forget the popcorn.
Right,
right?
absolutely,
The
absolutely.
cookies are one thing. Don't forget the popcorn, because
Yeah.
that's as important as the cookies.
Absolutely.
So that's good. It looks like that. You'll see your scouts. I've seen them at Movie Tavern, Walgreens.
Right,
Now I'm
right.
giving businesses plugs I shouldn't be, but they're everywhere. So don't forget the popcorn. Paul, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Visiting with you.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming over and talking to us. And we hope you've enjoyed today's show. We will see you again next time on Get Outside St. Tammany.